Welcome to the water cooler, Monday, June 8th, 2015. This episode of the water cooler, we're going to talk about Jim Ross. Jim Ross likes to go on rants. He has his own website, jrsbarbecue.com. Barbecue, pinata. Oh, sorry about the pinata thing. I shouldn't have cut. That was a little. I'm sorry. Jim, if you can ever forgive me, I'm sorry. So Jim Ross comes out and he writes a blog. Jim Ross is known for writing these blogs. It's fine, he can write his blog, but here's what happens. He writes his blog about the wrestling industry. TNA doesn't like it, Ring of Honor doesn't like it, Lucha Underground doesn't like it. They say, you're picking on us. Well, Jim Ross says, I'm not picking on you, I'm just stating my opinion. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, I'm just saying what needs to happen. That's fine, okay, Jim Ross has been in the wrestling industry for 40 plus years. He deserves to say whatever the hell he wants. That's fine. It's cool, Jim Ross, you're my blessing, say whatever you want. But without criticism, it's not gonna happen. I gotta tell you what I think. So, Jim Ross comes out and he says a few things. He says, basically after all is said and done what he says that the wrestling industry does not change, it's gonna die. And I don't agree with that. No. Whoa, pump the brakes, big man. The wrestling industry is not gonna die. It's gonna flourish because of what is going on. You think it's a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing on some of the parts. Some of the other parts I agree with you. More notably, he says that wrestling is too scripted nowadays. I 100% agree with that. When he says scripted, he's talking about promo scripted. Remember back in the day, in the 90s, you had wrestlers like Mankind, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those guys could go out there and cut a promo on anything. They could just sit out there and talk forever. Speaking of the 90s, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. What was one of the highest segments of all time? This Is Your Life. What was This Is Your Life if you're not a fan of the 90s and the Attitude Era? What's your problem? It's the best era ever. Okay, I beg to differ with that statement. But This Is Your Life was a birthday party for The Rock thrown by Mankind. What would happen is Mankind would come out, he would tell The Rock to come out, and then Mankind would pull out people from The Rock's past. Like an old gym teacher would come out, his old girlfriend would come out, and all that stuff. And then at the end, The Rock came out and said, "This is not The Rock's birthday, you jabroni. The Rock's birthday is May whatever." I don't know what he said, I can't remember. But that was that. So that was hilarious at the end after he threw this whole birthday party and blew up in his face. But here's what happened. Here's how the script was. Let me lay the script out for you. The script was like this. Mankind comes out, says something about The Rock. The Rock comes out. The Rock and Mankind have banter back and forth. Mankind introduces his first guest. Mankind says something, The Rock rebuttals. Mankind says something else, The Rock rebuttals. Introduce a new guest. Mankind says something, The Rock rebuttals. Mankind says something, The Rock rebuttals. Another guest. Simple formula, they nailed it. They knew exactly what they wanted to say. There was no script for it. They're just like, what are you guys gonna say? I don't know, we'll see when we get out there. They just played off each other. And that's natural charisma that a lot of guys don't have in the wrestling business. When you're cutting a promo, when you're out there in front of a camera, in front of all the people, all the lights, everything going on, you know when you have a good promo in your hand. You can just look at it and you're like, man, this is gold. I am cutting the promo of my life here, and this is phenomenal. And then there's times where you're cutting a promo and you're like, this is not good. So, Jim Ross, I agree with that fact. Scripting promos is bad. Look at Brie Bella, look at Nikki Bella. The bitch thing. Anybody remember the bitch thing? I remember the bitch thing because it went on way too long. It's when WWE tried to push the envelope in the PG era, and they would say things like bitch because they could get away with saying the word bitch because bitch is an okay word in the PG era because bitch is okay. Bitch. I can say bitch all day long. It's not going to be a bad word because a female dog is a bitch and so is a girl. So, she says bitch, slap, boom, script. Okay, we know you're reading the script. Stop reading the scripts. Let them go out there. Maybe they can't talk. You know what? Don't let them talk then. If they can't talk, don't let them talk. Simple as that. All right. I'm done with the talking stuff, with the promo stuff. Okay, Jim, we agree. Scripting of promos is not very good. If they can't talk, don't let them talk, you know. accentuate the positives, hide the negatives, that kind of thing, you know. That's simple wrestling rule right there. So, he also goes on to say that there are guys out there who really don't know how to wrestle. Not saying they don't know how to wrestle, but they can't. Here's what he's saying. He's saying they're trying to cover up psychology for sensationalism. That might be confusing for you if you can't think about that right now. Let me play it out there for you. Simplest terms here, instead of doing a great wrestling match with holds, lock up, do all the cool moves and do, you know, that kind of stuff, boom, selling, all the good stuff, you know, take your time, sell, don't go so fast, that's the thing. Oh my God, you're going so fast. That's what Jim Ross is saying, you're going so fast, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. No flippy stuff. He says that guys do flippy stuff to get over, to impress the crowd. They do crash style wrestling instead of actually doing a psychology driven match where they know the ins and outs and do it the way that it's supposed to be done. That's what Jim Ross is saying. He's saying guys are going too fast, saying that guys shouldn't do that flippy stuff. I'm going to disagree with you, Jim Ross. Flippy stuff needs to happen. PWG, great example. Reminds me of something back in the 90s. We talked about the 90s a little bit earlier, but let's go back. Remember the 90s? It was a great time. Nickelodeon, WCW, NWO, WWF. Oh yeah, the Macho Man was there still. I went off frame of the camera, but that's okay. Because this is what the fact of the matter is that the mid-90s were cool once you get past that hump. There was a hump in wrestling, a big hump and a big hill that was not good for wrestling. You had guys going out there that dressed like a plumber. You had a guy who was a tax man. You had all this crazy gimmicks. Bastion Booger. Oh man, a guy named Avalanche, Earthquake, all those things. Okay, so you had cookie cutter cartoon characters going out there portraying everyday jobs. You had a trash man, Duke the Dumpster Droser. You had a guy named Mantar who dressed like a bull. I don't know what that gimmick was. But then you had this company come in and kick the door down and they said, you know what? We're changing the way things are. We're going to bring awesome wrestling. We're going to give you awesome stuff that you want to see. We're going to not hide the blood. We're going to have tables, chairs, ladders. Oh my, we're going to do everything crazy because that's our niche. Keep that word right there, niche. Niche is the word of the day because, let me stop, because I see some of you looking at here. You're going, Tony, what is niche? I don't know what niche is. I don't know what niche is. Do you know what niche is? That right there is niche. Let me explain. Let me explain what niche is. I have a YouTube channel. You're all watching it right now. You know how it works. You're watching The Water Cooler, one of the best shows on the internet. And I have a YouTube channel. So that means I could do anything in the world that I want. I could play every video game known to man. I could have a retro video game channel. I could do makeup tutorials. I could make short films. I could make comedy sketches. I could do interviews. I could review toys. I could do whatever I want. But I have a niche on my YouTube channel of professional wrestling. Now you're getting it. You guys are smart. See, you're sticking with me, you know. You get it, you understand. Professional wrestling is the niche that I am doing right here. So, niche is back when ECW was there. They were that niche that needed to come in at the right time. WCW was boring, WWE was boring, ECW came in, boom, kicked the door down, niche, here we go, hardcore stuff. And then what did WWF do? Well, that's kind of good. Let's take some of that. You know what WCW did? We like those cruiserweights. I like some of those guys. Let's bring them in. Let's take their ideas. And that worked. And that was awesome. And that was great. Jim Ross is saying the flippy dippies and hoo-ha's and PWG is not good. No. PWG is perfect. PWG is niche. PWG is niche. They are perfect for what they are doing. It's a perfect thing for them. Just think of Dave Meltzer, right? He's a respected journalist. Everybody knows who Dave Meltzer is. If you read any dirt sheets, you know who Dave Meltzer is. Dave Meltzer went to a PWG show, and what did his report when he came back was, oh, these guys need to slow down. Oh, these guys are doing too much. They're exposing the business. No, he said, PWG is fun. PWG is just fun. It's just a fun wrestling promotion that is just doing exactly what it needs to do. Just going out there being different than WWE. They know they're not going to be WWE, so why try and copy WWE, and why not try and be the first that they can be? I say Dave Meltzer hit it right on the head. That's exactly what niche is, and PWG is niche, and they're not going to compete with WWE. Same with TNA, same with Ring of Honor, same with Lucha Underground. Maybe they're trying to copy a little bit here or there, TNA more than the other ones that I spoke of, but you have a company like Lucha Underground who films it like a movie, like an old grindhouse type movie, grungy. You got the mob boss running things, giving out money. You got the guys going out there flipping around. You have trios champion, things that aren't in the WWE. And that's perfect. And that's exactly what needs to go down in professional wrestling. That is what is going down. The wrestling business is not in shambles. The wrestling business is not going to die. You know? Please, wrestling gods, save us from this horrible niche wrestling. No. WWE sometimes tries to do too much. They've been doing a great job with NXT because they're giving guys a little bit more freedom. They're letting them do some more moves that they can do, and they're letting them do things that you don't see on the main programming. The main programming tries to do too much sometimes. They try to segment to all the audience. They try to cater to all the audience, I should say, where they go out there and they're like, we need to have this girl, we need to have this guy, we need to have a comedy skit, we need to have a long promo, we need to have maybe one fast-paced match, maybe one slow-paced match, maybe, it's like just all this stuff and all these things, and sometimes it just does not work, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But what we're getting is we're getting more options. Options are a great goddamn thing. Jim Ross, open your eyes. We're at a time where you don't have to watch WWE. You can watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can watch Ring of Honor. You can watch TNA. You can watch Lucha Underground. You can watch PWG. You can watch Magnum Pro. And that's the thing. I don't like all wrestling out there. I'm not too high on TNA. I'm not too high on Ring of Honor. But you know what? They're out there. They're a niche. There's something that people can grasp onto, and it's different than the WWE. If we had it the Jim Ross way, everything would be slow. Guys would be doing rest holds. They'd be having slower matches. Not saying that they're going to be bad matches. They're going to be more toned down. They're going to be safer. They're going to be more old school wrestling matches, which is fine. Those deserve their place in the wrestling business. But where they don't do, they don't deserve to be the only place in professional wrestling. They don't deserve to be the only style of professional wrestling. You deserve to have multiple facets out there. Like Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, PWG, for example. That's the one that I'm going to think of right now. That's totally different than anything out there. Those guys go out there, they kill each other, they flip, they do all this crazy stuff. And Jim Ross says they're exposing the business. They're not selling enough. To that I say, Jim Ross, the business is already exposed. The business was exposed when Jim Ross was in the WWF. Remember this, Jim? Because I'm going to take this back a little bit. Might be a little long for you, but you probably remember this. Vince McMahon came out on television and said, you know what? What we do is sports entertainment. Pro wrestling is different. We're out there with cartoon characters. We're a soap opera mixed with action. We're like The Walking Dead or Ring, I don't know what I was going to say there. We're like, he didn't say this because it was back in the 90s, but he's like, we're like a soap opera. We're like a male-driven soap opera. It's basically what he said. So, you know, nowadays you get, like I said, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, something similar to that. That's what it is. It's a television program. And we all know that. We all know that wrestling is not real. Let's go back. Let's go back and say, let's talk about magic. I'm going off on all cylinders today. Let's talk about magic. I'm not talking about Magic the Gathering. I'm talking about magicians who do tricks. Let's talk about this one. Remember back in the day when they used to saw the lady in half? They'd say, I need my assistance. They put her in the box, I cut her in half. People bought that. They said, whoa, you saw that lady right in half? How did that even happen? I have no idea how she got sawed in half. But they believed it. And they said, man, this guy must be real. And then he put her back together. She got out. Boom. What? How did she get out? He saw her right in half. I just watched him do it. Now, everybody knows that trick. We know how the trick works. There's a person with legs, there's a person with the top, cut it in half, the person with the top comes out at the end, and that's how it works. Everybody knows the saw trick is old. It's scripted. We know how it works. We understand that it works, but we still go to see it. That's the thing. We still want to see that stuff. And that's what it is with professional wrestling. That's what it is with everything in entertainment. I know The Walking Dead is a fake show. It's a fake television program where guys go out there and they try to kill zombies, a thing that is not real. Wrestling is the same way. Yes, they are athletes. They do put their body on the line. They go out there and kill each other, but we all know it's not real. We all know that it's not the same old school stuff that we used to believe, you know. When people would punch somebody, you thought it was real. But now, you know, wait, why didn't they bruise? You know, what's going on with their face? What is happening? There might be a little trickery here. Do we care? No, we don't care. We understand what professional wrestling is, and we like it. This is the thing, Jim Ross. I agree with you on some points, but I don't on others. I'm going to say this, though. You have your opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm 100% behind that fact, and I will say that till the day I die. I will try to preach my opinion to you, but you don't have to agree with it. It's just what I'm going to say. PWG, Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, TNA, they all deserve their place in the wrestling business. For you to go out there and say that they are killing the business, they're exposing the business, they are not. Now is the best time in the business since the ruthless aggression era, and you cannot doubt that one bit. We have so many options with the boom of the internet, even bigger than it has been, since streaming video has been, you know, something that is a norm right now, is that you can watch anything you want on the internet. IPPV is at its all-time high. We're at a great place in the wrestling business. PWG is out there doing that one thing that they want to do, and that's to have those awesome wrestling matches, whether they're too fast, whether they're flippy, whether they're bad, whether they're good, whatever your opinion is of that stuff, it's there for that audience. That'd be like saying, well, you know what, I don't really like horror movies, so I think there should only be comedies. You can't have that school of thought in life. Yes, some guys do not sell enough. Yes, some guys do too much. That's the way it is. Wrestling is changing. Wrestling is evolving. There's more options now. We're almost in the territory day. To the day where you can go and watch awesome professional wrestling right down the street from you. Everywhere you look, there's professional wrestling. And it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. Jim Ross, I respect your opinion. I respect everything that you've brought into the wrestling business, but I don't think the wrestling business is dying. Far from it. I think the wrestling business is flourishing. I think we're at an all-time high. I think with all these options, with all these great wrestling promotions on television, with all these great IPPVs, all these YouTube videos, everything is at a great place right now. No longer do we have to just watch WWE. No longer are we stuck with that one product because there's nothing else out there to watch. You can get your fix on the internet, and it really is a great time to be a fan. So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on what Jim Ross says. Do you think the wrestling business is dying? Do you think that PWG shouldn't do what they're doing? They should slow down and have something a little bit different, like more WWE style? Or you just let me know. Just fill me in on your opinion in the comments section below. Whew, it's hot in here. I'm trying to do this water cooler thing. But again, we'll be back tomorrow, Monday through Friday, with the water cooler. As always, I'm Tony Beats Guy.